Neil, this is a subject very close to your heart, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I've had my own personal experiences of it on a few occasions, and you know, if you look at the release that the trust have put out, you know, I'm not on my own. You know, 64% now among Scottish football. I think it's a very incredibly high stat. I think it's a wonderful initiative. I think it's great for clubs to be aggressive with this now, and we know it's not a uncommon illness now, or condition, whatever you want to call it, and it affects everyone, every individual in every individual way, in many different ways. So, you know, it gets my full support. I think it's a very, very strong and good idea.
Should it now be part of club licensing, Neil, that clubs have someone who players and indeed any employee can go to if they have any issues?
I think in the modern game, it's becoming more and more prevalent because of the pressure. You know, we live in an age now where everything is instant. You know, people can get into your, you know, you have social media, which can be intrusive, or it can be positive, but it can also be very destructive to an individual as well. So this generation of player coming through is going through that sort of lifestyle, if you want to call it that, and it can work both ways. So in terms of, you know, making it a policy in the game, then if it's amenable for clubs, particularly in Scotland, as we're talking about Scotland, then yeah, I mean, I think it would be very advantageous. Sometimes players or people or athletes don't actually know what they're going through themselves, Brian. You know, they don't know, they don't understand what they're going through. They think they're just a bit off kilter for a while, and then it sort of deteriorates, and the condition and the issues get worse. You're not in a lot of physical pain. There are physical symptoms at times, but certainly the mental pain can be, you know, very debilitating.
How is the approach to mental illness amongst the football industry, the media, people on the street? How has it changed since the days that you were a footballer coming through, and how has it changed as a positive in terms of the way people speak about it and the way people approach it?
Well, I think that's the most important point you make. People speaking about it is the most important thing. You know, we've had high-profile people in the game doing, you know, coming out and speaking about it. Some haven't, but they've gone through, you know, really difficult times with it, almost to the point of suicide. And you know, we don't want that. You know, that's the last thing that we need. And it's not just, you know, football's not alienated. It's boxing, it's athletics, a lot of individual sports. And what happens is you become institutionalised in the way of life. And football is your life, or cycling is your life, and you make targets and you look for targets, and sometimes when you don't reach those targets, all of a sudden there's a dip. I can understand why boxers, you know, haven't reached the top. Once you reach the top, the only way is down, and people find it very, very difficult to deal with that sort of slope on the way back down, whether it be through age or retirement or getting beaten, whatever. And it's important that they have a support structure there that helps them through that. Some people can breeze through life, but then other people have other illnesses to contend with, you know, whether it be anything like meningitis or cancer, you know, and depression is another one that can be very debilitating for an individual.
Football has got a reputation as being quite a macho sport. Perhaps there are footballers even out there today who are going through difficult times but feel as if they can't speak up. What would you say to any footballer in that position that's watching you just now? Please speak up.
You know, please go and speak to your club doctor, or speak to a loved one, or speak to, you know, someone you can trust, and just tell them how you're feeling and what you're going through. It is not a test of your masculinity. You know, it's a test of your health, and your health's the most important thing to any individual, whether not financial, your health, and this can make you do things and make you feel ways that are very, very alien to you, and sometimes it can be a very lonely existence as well. So if you can find someone to speak to who doesn't even have to understand it, but someone you can lean on, that's a start.
Do you feel that working with players nowadays, they are more sensitive to these issues as well?
Yes.
Because sometimes the dressing room can be quite a ruthless place.
Yes, it can, yeah. Yeah, listen, dressing rooms in my day and dressing rooms in the 60s, 70s and 80s could be quite ruthless as well. You know, and maybe there were a lot of people went through it that we don't know about. You know, people find it difficult to retire, you know, to find that sort of life after football, after sport, because they are, like I say, it's like being in the army. When you come out of the army, you know, you see a lot of people with post-traumatic stress disorder, you know, they come back into civilian life and they find it difficult to adjust. Sports people find that change from their sporting life into, you know, your normal, what you perceive as everyday life, as a very difficult adjustment at times as well. I'm not just talking about retiring, I'm talking about going through your career as well. There are episodes that can knock you completely off kilter, out of your routine.
Fantastic, one at the weekend, possibly the best of the season. You're 5 points behind second place just now. Do you think that's a realistic target?
It is now, yeah. There's still a lot of football to go, you know. We've got some tough games before the split, and then the split's going to be difficult. You know, it's going to be very exciting, obviously. We want to obviously cement top 6 first, but we've put ourselves in a position where we can challenge, you know, realistically now for 3rd place, and that is a brilliant position to be in. Players have earned it, but we've achieved nothing yet. So we're very, very pleased with the progress and the style of football and the results that we've had over the last few weeks. But it can all change very, very quickly again. But, you know, off the back of what was arguably, in the context of the opposition as well, it was definitely the performance of the season. For as well as you played, and Derek McInnes was very complimentary about the way your team played, do you think there's even more to come? I hope so. I hope so. I hope we don't peak too early. But it's a good time to be in good form. You know, but we've got a very difficult game at the weekend against another team here in fantastic form. So Saturday's gone. We enjoyed it immensely. I appreciate Derek's comments, but they did the exact same to us at Pittodrie, so it can flip very, very quickly. So like, it's just another win chopped off, and we just keep going now. Do you think this season there's a title challenge at this stage, whereas last season there wasn't? Celtic don't have that gap that they maybe had last season, and maybe what they've been doing in Europe with a good result against Zenit, it's maybe not distracted them, but maybe a reason for that? No, I mean, there's no question Brendan's team selection had Thursday in mind. You know, obviously Bernie was suspended anyway, and I think Encham was ill, but you know, maybe he's prioritised Thursday, and I totally understand that. They didn't get beat, you know, they chalked off another point, so they're 9 clear now rather than being 8. So they'll be quite satisfied, maybe not totally happy, but satisfied with the way the weekend went. But 9 points at this stage of the season, it's a good lead, but it doesn't mean to say there's not a title challenge on.